happening? 10:02 on the Fans. Go time. It is the best time of the year, Barbara. This is the best time of the year. Until we actually watch the Jets and the Giants play football. But theoretically, T, best time of the year. Unless the Yankees and the Mets continue their losing ways. But the Yankees have won 2 straight. It is go time. It is Tiki and Tierney. What's happening, buddy? How you doing today?
All is good, but I don't think all is good despite the 2 straight wins for the New York Yankees. It's so easy to get enamored in the moment and say, oh, they figured it out. Oh, they hit some home runs. But especially yesterday, as I watched how they won that game with home runs by Gonzalez and then Judge hits one, and it felt like old Yankees. Like the only way that they're winning is if they can hit home runs. Otherwise, they are pathetic at the plate. Aaron Judge has been unbelievable, and as much as we lauded him at the beginning of the season, post All-Star break, it's even more ridiculous. He's already surpassed his grand total of 52 from his rookie season. He's at 54, and he's got 27 games left. He's going to hit 65 home runs. He's unbelievable. He's counting his money right now as he thinks about his time going into free agency. But there is no way to sit back and watch this team and trust that anything is going to be solved or accelerate once they get to the second season. When the teams they play are better, they're maybe better managed,
healthier,
better constructed, healthier. Giancarlo Stanton's hurt again. I can't muster faith in the Yankees right now. It's really hard, despite winning 2 in a row and still having a 5-game lead in the division.
Neither can I, which is why I'm not about to force feed it down the throats of knowledgeable baseball fans. I mean, we know our baseball. We watch our Yanks and our Mets. The Yankees, the Yankees are gross. Like, I don't know how else to describe. Like, watching the Yankees play, I know they've won 2 straight, so you want to be fair. But since and really even before the All-Star break, when they weren't playing particularly crisp ball, but it's been really, really illuminated since the All-Star break. And I'll give you some numbers to back that up in a moment. I mean, you watch the Yankees on a nightly basis, you'd rather take 1,000 needles to your eyeball. Aaron Judge, listen to this, Tiki. Since the All-Star break, our Aaron Judge is hitting 342. The rest of the team is hitting 207. His OPS is over 1,300. The Yankees' collective OPS minus Aaron Judge is 598.
590. So hold on.
That's like trotting out 8 Bucky Dents.
Say those numbers one more time.
So
the team batting average, other than Aaron Judge, is
207.
All right, that's one part of my criteria. One part of my criteria. Sub 220 batting average.
Yes.
And the OPS?
Forget about being sub 7. Sub 6 at 598.
Dude, we can get on the whole rest of the team other than Aaron Judge.
Well, Tiki made up this rule a while ago. If you're not hitting at least 220, if you don't have an OPS at least 600, then you're not allowed to play. So I guess the Yankees have to collectively forfeit.
And if they are going to play, then we reserve the right to crush you all day long.
That's right.
Technically, we could crush the entirety of the team other than Aaron Judge post All-Star break. We won't do that because there's, I think, just bigger fish to fry.
And this is the big fish. Now, listen, it just happens to be post Labor Day when things really ramp up. You know, summer's over, that little late summer malaise ends, vacations end. I mean, we're digging in now. The next 4 or 5 months is a massive sprint.
Football in 2 days.
Oh, and we'll get to Zach Wilson's Week 1 status. Jets might mess around and play him. Tiki and I'll get to that in a little bit. But I got to tell you something, Tiki. This is not meant to be a hot take. If it's construed as that, I don't care. Let me just tell everybody what's going on for Brian Cashman right now. Brian Cashman, at least if I'm running the Yankees, Brian Cashman has 4 weeks to earn an extension. Now, I could be really mean and say, even if they perform well over the next 4 weeks, he still doesn't deserve an extension. But I don't want to be that guy out of the chute 6 minutes into the show here, September, post-Labor Day. Brian Cashman should, in terms of job status, should be hanging by a thread. I don't know what Hal's thinking. I don't even care right now. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. Because you look at, ever since they won the championships, not 09, all the championships before that, we know who built the team, and it wasn't Brian Cashman. It was obviously Stick Michael and Bob Watson. And post-dynasty, whether it's Weaver, whether it's Kevin Brown, whether it's Randy Johnson, whether it's Sonny Gray, I'm all over the map in terms of years, whether it's Jacoby Ellsbury or Gary Sheffield or Giambi or other veteran retread starting pitchers, or Abreu playing the outfield, or Donaldson's dopey 2-year, $50 million deal, or Hicks's asinine 7-year deal, or LeMahieu, who looks like he's 50. DJ LeMahieu looks done. Giving him 6 years, or trading a middle-of-the-rotation lefty for a guy who's a soft-hitting center fielder. Let's just be very clear about this, all right? And I say this with no pride or joy, but I do say this with conviction. Brian Cashman has not earned the right to rebuild this team the way this team needs to be rebuilt.
So you're talking past this season, because we know where this team is this season. They're good. They've been great for most of the year, but they're not better than the Astros, and there's no faith, and as we just talked about, that they're going to go deep into the American League Championship Series, get to the Championship Series, go past the Astros, get to the World Series, and win a World Series. Maybe that saves him, but there's not a lot of faith in that right now, especially how they've played the last 2 months, month and a half at least. But
I would challenge years. Forget about this. Is not a snap reaction.
I know. I'm
reacting to everything he has done or not done.
Yes, but this season, which was great for a moment, notwithstanding, and the fact that they're going to be in the playoffs, they're likely going to get to the ALCS. They don't have home field advantage in a 7-game series because the Astros have zoomed past them, and they're likely to lose to the Astros. So let's say that happens, and you look at the team after this season. So forget this season. After this season, this team's got to be rebuilt.
Yep.
And Brian Cashman is not the guy to do it.
I don't believe he is.
And the only way that I could push back on that is by saying we know that they will spend money to a point. $253 million is their payroll this year. It's third in majors behind the Dodgers.
27 other teams, which is pretty damn good.
Exactly. It's behind the Dodgers and the Mets. So they will spend the money. But if Hal is not willing to go that extra, whatever it is, we'll say it's a quarter of a mile, maybe it's a mile, whatever it is. If Hal is not willing to go that far, doesn't Brian Cashman have to try to be creative and Band-Aid solutions until their cap situation, their payroll situation gets better? Don't they? Doesn't he have to do that?
Well, but they have to because of the moves that have been made. I mean, you've got some handcuffing type of contracts here. Who signed off with those? Well, Hal signed off. Who were the ones who presented those contracts or those moves to Hal Steinbrenner?
Yeah,
it wasn't Stump Merrill. It was Brian Cashman. I mean, listen, Tiki, and it's not just this year. Go back to last year, and it drove me nuts. The Yankees actually, this is reprehensible in the baseball sense. They started last season basically with Brett Gardner as their power lefty bat. I mean, you got mid-season, you got to go out and you get Gallo. You got to go out and get Rizzo. You got to get Odor early. You got to pick up. Your payroll was high last year. The allocation of funds. And here's something else I've heard, right? And I didn't actually hear him say it. I know a bunch of people tweeted this. I didn't hear him say this. So, and I really do like him. I heard I read that Kay said recently that if Cashman was fired, that 29 other teams would be after him. That's nonsense. I mean, from my opinion, why would I chase? Listen, the issue with Cashman right now is that his vision in constructing a team appears to be very antiquated. The Yankees look slower. They look less dynamic than every other good team in baseball. Their farm system, listen, Oswald's Volpe, by the way, is ripping it up at AAA, so that's a great sign. But all the years, Florial, 4A player, never going to make it. He's not good. I mean, Sanchez regressed. Torres regressed. Now, that's part of the coaching. That's a bigger thing. But Hal's not selling the team. So and Boone really has no juice with the team, let's face it. So the only thing that can change the direction of the Yankees is to get a general manager with a completely different vision.
See, my issue with the Yankees,
a modern vision.
It feels every step seems to pass the buck somewhere, whether it's Aaron Boone, the manager, throwing it, at the table, and then ultimately at the player, saying that they got to step up and play. It's Cashman, even in theory, he doesn't say this out loud, saying, well, I'm hamstrung, I'm handcuffed because I can't spend I want to spend $280 million on payroll this year.
That's like somebody giving you $50,000 and walking into a strip joint. You're like, well, I don't have enough money. Dude, you got the third highest payroll in baseball. Find a way to the champagne room.
I agree, but it just feels like
you got enough money.
Every step of the way with the Yankees, there's a passing of the buck. There's someone saying it's not my fault, or someone saying for someone it's not his fault, right? It's not Cashman's fault because it's Hal. It's not Hal's fault because Hal doesn't know what he's doing. He's got to throw it down to Cashman. It's not Boone's fault because Boone's not even making his own lineups. He's not giving each of these guys these rest days. He doesn't communicate with this team. He doesn't know how to motivate this team. He laissez-faires them until we'll figure it out. You're not going to figure it out. When you go a month and you don't figure it out, you probably should stop saying we're going to figure it out. So every step of the way with the Yankees seems to pass the buck. And so what I'm getting at is at every level, other than with Aaron Judge, because 342 and 54 and an OPS over 13 after since the All-Star break.
By the way, 21 home runs. The whole team has 32.
Jeez.
Come on. I mean, what are we doing to this poor guy? Are we basically begging him to leave?
Aaron Judge,
what is going
notwithstanding, nobody else is turning the finger and pointing it at themselves and saying, I need to be accountable and make this team great like it's supposed to be. Nobody else is doing it.
You're right.
Nobody else.
That would be nice to hear that.
And it starts with Hal, it goes through Cash, and it ends with Darren Bone. Because his lack of motivating of a team frustrates me to no end. Because I feel like this team could be great. This Yankee team could.
Do you really? Good or great?
Well,
great?
Great, really? Because they have a great player. They have a staff that's not elite, but it should be better than average, significantly better than average with Cole if he can get out of his own head. Right? Send Garrett Cole
was very
to
good the other day too. That's a good sign.
Exactly.
That's
He's maybe turning the corner. We know where Nestor is, even though he's on IL right now.
He's coming back.
It just feels like the team has the pieces to be a great team, but they're so chill about lack of success that they're never going to figure it out. Like, you don't figure out failure by saying it's okay. You just don't. Like, it's not okay to fail. Yet for a month and a half, this team has failed, and they've just said, it's okay.
And
we'll be fine.
Not only failed, but failed in a way that is almost unprofessional. The base running gaffes,
That's right.
The defensive miscues, the seemingly, I know they're trying, I don't want to be unfair, seemingly apathetic approach at the plate, nothing refined. I know they've won 2 straight, but this team is just it's time. I mean, this team's not winning anything. They're just not. It's 10:15 on the Fan. Tiki and Tierney show inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Zach Wilson status week 1 later. Mets later. But real quick, hey, Dove, open up your mic. He's back. The last time, because we were off yesterday and Dove was in, the last time we saw Dove, he was literally in the middle of a heart attack. He's tweeted this out, and obviously many of you have kept abreast of his medical situation. You know Dove's been here since basically day 1. And good to have you back, man. Good to have you back, Dove. Good to have you alive.
Yeah,
Forget about being back.
Yes.
And you look good. How much weight did you lose?
He dropped a few pounds.
Probably
there.
about 10.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
All right. That's all right.
Svelte Dove.
Yeah, exactly.
No more cake and cookies.
Getting back in
no
playing
more
shape.
soda.
Getting back in playing shape, Dove. I like it.
Now, did you listen on the free Odyssey app in the hospital? You were basically bedridden for 3-4 weeks in hospital with the stents. Did you listen to the show?
I did a little bit, not a lot.
What?
I was in the CCU most of the time.
So
and where
what?
I was
Have them put it on.
right next to the nurse's station.
Hey, listen, nurses love Tiki and Tierney. It's all good.
Yeah. I did listen to one game on the app.
Okay.
Okay.
What did
First
they
game
win?
in Oakland. I picked the right game.
Yes, you did that. What, they
The
scored
only
7 or
one.
8 runs that night?
13.
No, that was the bit 13. 20 hits, 13 runs,
Right.
and then, of course, things leveled out. Well, listen, Dove, good to have you back as we hit the fall stretch here. Jets, Giants, Yanks, Mets, playoff runs, hopefully finally a meaningful start to the football season. Good to have you back,
Thank
buddy.
you. I appreciate it.
A lot of people asked about you during your absence. All right. 877-337-6666. First up, let's get Big Bob in Smithtown on the Fan. Tiki and Tierney. What up, Bob? What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Big Bob. What's up? All right. We don't have you. Call back, Bob. some reason we're not
You
hearing
take
you.
the next one that annoys me when that happens out of the shoot.
I know.
Take it.
Let's go, Matt, in Huntington, New York. What's up, Matt?
Hey, BTT and Tiki, how are you guys? Thanks for taking the call.
Pleasure, man.
What's up, Matty?
I actually called last week. You know, you were talking about the Yankees with their roster and going out with some scrubs, this, that, and the other thing. But I know that was last week. What I wanted to say, me being a Mets fan, I just don't understand how Aaron Boone can look himself in the mirror and not take Josh Donaldson out of that game. This is a guy, like, you know, you don't sit there in September and watch a 300-foot shot from the plate. You got to run everything out.
Yeah, you do.
If it's a 450-foot shot, fine. But these guys, even like I said, I was saying last week, Giancarlo Stanton, there's no way he's taken any sort of order from Aaron Boone. There's no way. A guy with that stature is not listening to anything Aaron Boone says, and I don't think Aaron Boone is the right guy for that job to bring that team anywhere. I really don't think they're going anywhere in the playoffs.
I don't think so either, man. I mean, I really don't. I mean, listen, you get in a shorter series. Thanks for the call there, bud. That doesn't mean that, you know, Stanton. And by the way, Stanton's been a proven October performer here for the Yankees.
You just got to have
the man his due.
faith that he's going to be available.
Yes, and he's hurt again, and we'll see where this goes. But Stanton can knock a few over the fence. Obviously, Judge can be Judge, and you know the staff, at least at the top part of the staff, and the bullpen arms are at least back and healthy and stabilized somewhat. I mean, you get me, but that's not the point, because even now, I know that if the Yankees were to go on an October run, that of course Cashman's coming back. And I won't make the case now because I don't want to be unfair to anybody, but I can still, at that point, make the case that Brian Cashman, that it's time for a new voice.
Mm-hmm.
A somebody that has a different vision in building a team. The dynamic of team building, there's a couple of different ways to do it. And Brian Cashman's way has proven not to be very fruitful for a while now.
Yeah, look,
so what are we doing?
There's been a lot of, I don't want to say innovation because it makes it feel like you're creating a new technology, but let's just call it we'll use that word because of how teams like the Braves, remember at the trade deadline last year, we all remember what they did. This year, they bring 2 young kids in the minors, they bring them up, break them off immediately.
Yeah,
why do you do that?
Yep.
Because it saves you money on the back end. So, 4 years from now, when the Braves are in the next iteration of whatever their team is going to look like, these 2 guys are going to be wrapped up and part of it for the future.
But so is Acuna, and Matt Olson got a big deal at the age of 27.
That's exactly right. So it's not innovation because it's really just
been done before.
It's just simple thinking.
Yeah.
But teams are doing that. The Yankees are not.
No, but I'll tell you part of the reason why the Yankees, and you're right, one of the reasons why the Yankees don't do it is because, quite frankly, outside of Judge, the Yankees' good players, theoretically good young players, aren't good enough to want to lock up.
That's a good point.
I mean,
That's
really
a great
think
point.
of it. Let's just call it for what it is.
That's a great point.
Who has come up here and ripped the cover off the ball for multiple seasons with no regression, where we view as irreplaceable? I will wait. The answer is 0, by the way.
There's one.
I've said except Judge.
Except Judge. That's right.
But even he's 31.
I know.
877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney here on the Fan. Hour number 2. Would it be cavalier of the Jets to roll Zach Wilson out there? Oh, football starts. I can't wait. Oh, God. This Sunday against the Ravens. We'll do that. And a little trickle of blood from above the eyebrow of Hoff's Metsies. All that and more on the table. Tiki and Tierney right here on the Fan.